He doesn't know how to talk to women. He doesn't know how to meet women. And so he said, let me try and figure out how to be better. And you're attacking and insulting him for it. And I was like, and if you ever actually listen to what these guys tell you, sure, you might say it's creepy that they're trying to sleep with women or whatever. Every guy's doing it.
What I've noticed with women when it comes to mating, it's very difficult for women to go backwards. So if they're accustomed to a certain type of guy, that's my type, it's very difficult for them to go backwards and get with a guy that has less status, less income potential, not as attractive. The only time I've ever seen women like say, you know what, I'll lower my standards is when they start to get older and they know that they can't command the same level of authority in the sexual marketplace.
I don't think that if a girl doesn't understand men, I don't think she'll have any kind of long-term success with a guy, because a guy really wants a woman that understands him.
Yeah, so
No.
I was gonna say, like,
you were saying
a lot of guys just happy to get pussy, man.
Well, for short term, but like if you want a 20-year relationship with someone, they better understand you.
it's a yes and a no. Like, it is true, she does need to, but there are many circumstances where guys naturally have these behaviors that women like, and there's women who naturally have these behaviors men like, and they don't know why that is. I've talked about this with like the red pill movement. The corporate press, feminists, women in media would rag on any guy who would go to these red pill communities. But let's break down what this is. There was like the pickup artists, dating game stuff. So I knew people who were, like, I knew this guy, he was short, chubby, bald, wore glasses, felt like a nerd. And so he started reaching out to these like guru types, and he wanted to learn how to actually be attractive. He had no idea what to do. And he gets mocked relentlessly, not him personally, but they attack him for doing this. And I remember talking to some like feminist reporter in New York, and she was like, it's so scummy, it's so creepy. And I said, let me pause for a second. Here's a guy who's clearly a loser, right? In your mind, if you saw him at a bar, you wouldn't walk anywhere near him. He doesn't know how to talk to women. He doesn't know how to meet women. And so he said, let me try and figure out how to be better. And you're attacking and insulting him for it. And I was like, and if you ever actually listen to what these guys tell you, sure, you might say it's creepy that they're trying to sleep with women or whatever. Every guy's doing that. So you end up with a world where there are guys. I knew a guy in LA who was 5'3", chubby, he had a little bit of a beard. He had no problem getting women. He was a smooth talker, salesman, making six figures, and he could sell ice to an Eskimo, man. This guy, and he had no problems. He was super confident, and I was like, if you know how to play the cards you're dealt. This other guy who's in a similar position has no idea what to do, and he's creepy. He walks up to a woman, he goes, "You're beautiful," and they're like, "Okay, this is weird." What do these dating guys tell him to do? They say, "Stop doing that." And one of the first things he learned, it was fascinating. He was like, "They told me just to talk to them like I talk to my guy friends," and I was like, "Do you mean they told you to talk like a normal person talking to a regular person?" And he was like, what he had been approaching women as if they were a different species. I was like, why would you rag on a guy for doing that? Why would you rag on a guy for trying to understand how to actually be less creepy, how to be more confident, and how to say the things that are appropriate in social situations? So ultimately, my point there, as to what you're saying, Ian, is some guys naturally know how to do this, whether they're tall, short, attractive, ugly, whatever. And because I said this to this woman, I was like, so because a guy just naturally has this charisma and these behaviors without actually studying it, that's fine. But somebody who wants to learn and be better, that's creepy. There's a lot of circumstances where a woman doesn't understand a man at all, but she behaves in a way that men like.
Well, okay, the controversial take here. That's because women don't respect self-improvement, right? So with women, right, everything is given to them. Their beauty is given to them. Their value is given to them.
I don't think so.
That's fine. You can disagree. But the point is that women have dating on easy mode. They don't necessarily have to accomplish anything to get sexual access to men. She could be 18 years old, attractive, etc. Now, do women need to self-improve to the same level as men to get sexual access? Not at all. So with women, if a guy goes ahead and says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to Toastmasters, learn how to speak better. I'm going to go ahead and go to a dating boot camp and learn how to talk to women. They're going to look at that as awkward and strange because that's a foreign concept to women because men naturally come to them, but they don't even understand the privilege they have because privilege is invisible to those that have it.
I don't think you're wrong completely, but I'll try this. Candace, how much time did you spend this morning getting ready for the show?
30 minutes.
What about you?
Quickly. 5 minutes.
So I saw this funny post. There was
here's the thing. Her sexual access is contingent upon her looks.
But that's why I'm saying
mine are not. But I have to.
But real quick, when you said that beauty is given, I agree largely. Like women, some are just natural beauties. But there's this funny thread where women were talking about makeup and stuff. Some guy responded saying like, "What the is this?" And then the woman laughed saying, "Guys really have no idea how much time they spend trying to look good." So it's like women spend a lot of time. Guys know, they're like, the woman takes an hour to get ready for the date, and the guy like throws out his greasy hair, puts a hat on.
Yeah, man. But like, okay, we can make the comparison, but like, spending some time to get yourself ready pales in comparison to what it takes to be attractive as a man. Men have to put far more work in to be sexually attractive to the opposite gender than women do. An average woman can bat 5 times above her league as far as like getting a guy that's significantly more attractive than her. But it doesn't work the other way around. Men have to earn everything. So this is what I mean when I say like when guys do all this self-improvement, especially in the realm of dating, women look at it like that's weird because they think it should be natural. But the reality is men have to learn this stuff.
Well, so this is a bit outside of like, we're getting into the politics of gender and feminism. Sure. I'm curious, Candace, what you think about what he's been saying.
Well, so to circle back to like whether or not a woman needs to understand a man for a long-term relationship, and the pickup artist is actually a really good example.
Well, to get attracted.
Okay.
For a long-term relationship is different. But I mean, like, just to get male attention and get men to be potential suitors, just exist.
Oh, yeah. Those are totally different concepts. But would you say that a woman does need to understand a man in order to have, like, a sustainable long-term relationship?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. But my argument is simply that women have access by simply existing. Mm-hmm. We never have access just by existing. We have to be the ones to create the existence. Mm-hmm. I got to get the yacht. I got to build myself up. I got to get the title where women will come. Versus women just exist and they show up.
So is the issue, is feminism the issue because these women, especially if like they're not good looking and they're accessing men that are outside of their quote league, and then they can't go backwards? Feminism is the issue because normally they wouldn't have slept with that guy without a commitment. Essentially,
that's a component of it. It's multivaried, many different facets that create problems. I mean, we could talk about the internet, social media, women having a gross, overinflated sense of self-worth, the hubris, the narcissism with a lot of modern women. All of that plays into the situation we have now, where we have a really bad dating marketplace. And I truly do think that for women, they're going to be the ones to take the L long term, because if these robots come out, which again, this is 50, 100 years down the road, the people that are going to lose are going to be the women, and I'll tell you why. Men require far less to be satisfied with their partner. Women require a lot. Guy just gets some sexual access, makes some sandwiches, we'll be fine. But with you guys need attention, you need love, you need provisioning, you need to feel protected, you need all this emotional stimuli. A robot ain't going to give that to you. Only a man can. And to make it even harder, women have high standards nowadays. Not only does this guy have to have all these different traits to make himself attractive, he needs to like learn this stuff. So I think with women, what ends up happening is you guys become a victim of your high standards, especially nowadays.
See, I think men need all of those things too. Men that were really subscribing to the pickup artist and they were using these tactics to have like one-offs with women, they found it was almost like this instant gratification and kind of like eating junk food. Like it was temporarily satisfying. But then a few of the people, I think they were either in the book or they were some of his personal friends, ended up killing themselves because it was they felt like such a disconnection from who they were and who they were presenting themselves to be. And if they ended up in a relationship with one of these women, it was so fake that they couldn't stomach it anymore.
And I actually disagree with you to a bit on this, because in some of the interviews we've done, we've had a couple sex workers on the show. They actually talk about how a lot of guys want to talk.
And cut.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many guys drive up to a woman and they're like, let's slap him, go to a motel, and they literally want a therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's also I've heard this a lot too. I don't know if it's how prevalent it is or how dominant it is, but a lot of guys with OnlyFans chats, like guys want emotional satisfaction from women. They really do. You are right in the short term.
I mean, I never said that they don't. I'm just saying
but it's not heavy.
I think with the robots, though, they would be just as like isolated, lonely, and like lacking as a woman would be.
However, I want to point this out.
In the long run.
The first robots that we got are not sex bots. They're these AI chat girlfriends.
Yeah.
And there was that story of that teenager who killed himself because he was dating Daenerys Targaryen or whatever on a mobile app. Dude. And then he was like, I wish I could be with you. And she responded, you can be. Come now, my love. And he says, I'm coming. And then he took his own life.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
But real quick, my point is, the first thing we saw was not a mass marketplace for sex robots and ubiquity. Certainly, some of these things do exist. But when they released emotional satisfaction relationship bots, they one of these companies, I can't remember which one it is, had to ban like intimate relationships because guys were using this, and like I can't remember exactly what happened, but they were basically like, okay, from now on you're just friends, and all these guys started freaking out. Guys were using this so that a woman on a chat bot would say things like, "You're the best. You're so handsome. You're so good at what you do."
You don't even need the relationship bot. I was using ChatGPT on the new version of voice, and I gave it a female voice. I was like, listen to all the female voices. I was like, which one puts me the most at ease to listen to? Okay, that tone. So I put her voice. And then I was just talking to her about quantum physics and asking questions. And then for like an hour, it was talking to me. And then when it was done, I was like, I miss her.
Imagine,
energy,
wait.
I miss it all of a sudden. I'm like, whoa, dude, that's 2 hours of exposure.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.